Welcome to I'm From the Internet, a podcast about the internet, its users, and their consequences. I am deceased comedian Winslow Dumaine, sitting here with internet historian Jaybrandstetter. Jay, how have you been, man?
I'm having a pretty good week. This has been a fun one to work on.
That's good. Yeah, I'm looking at a picture of some Garfield products here. I've been okay. I just did the last oddity, well, the most recent oddities show I did, Oddities and Curiosities in Baltimore, and that is 11 hours there, 11 hours back. It is so goddamn much. And before that, I did Pittsburgh, and I've been on the road for like 8 straight weeks, and I've been thinking a lot about that. Because, keen-eared listeners know that, Uncle Winslow's going through some shit. But it's one thing to be, like, having a dark period in your life where things are, like, sad and stressful. But when you're on the road a lot, what that means is that, every day I have to figure out where I'm going and when, and, navigating a new city. Like, if I need to go to the store in Chicago, I can just get in my car and I know where the store is. I don't have to GPS it or nothing. I can just go. And when you're on the road, oh my God, every minute you need to have it's active brain time, every single decision, every single moment. And it's just so much, man. It's just so fucking much. I haven't rested in so goddamn long. I wish I had a funnier way of saying it, but it's just it's like a machine with no oil, just kind of running red hot forever, and I'm really starting to permanently deform, I guess. And it's also the machine is being actively shot at, so it's been a hell of a month, hell of a year. But yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else to really lead up into this one. It's just, I guess maybe since this one does involve comic strip characters, were you ever a comic strip kid growing up?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I like Calvin and Hobbes.
Oh hell yeah, I was a huge Calvin and Hobbes head when I was a kid.
When I was a little kid, yeah, I liked Garfield. But I just liked it because it was easy to read, and I could see it made sense to me, I guess. But they weren't ever really funny. They were just it was a thing that I could do that was colorful pictures kind of thing.
Yeah, the school library carried it. You could get it at the book fair. Although in my school, you needed a special pass to check out the comics because they said it was disruptive because kids would always read them and laugh at middle class and such.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, we didn't have those in my Catholic school, I'll tell you that much. But yeah, no, because Garfield's Muslim. So that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, actually kind of what I'm looking at here, but Garfield might actually be a little bit Muslim. Wow, dude, I have no idea what the fuck. Oh, I think I remember hearing a little bit about this story. Okay, sorry.
I assumed that you'd already knew about this guy. So I think a month ago I sent you an update about it. And I was like, oh, the Garfield Eats guy did this. And you're like, hold on, what the fuck's Garfield Eats? So I was like, oh, buddy. And then eventually I was like, so yeah, I might have told you a little bit about this, but again, this is such a wild story that breaking it down, it really digs into some fun stuff.
Yeah, we also have to do something about who's that guy who's the world's most successful millennial comedian, and he's clearly 49 years old.
Yeah,
Dan Ninen, dude, that's so funny because that guy is just truly going up on stage and just say so a blonde, a brunette, and a redhead walk into a bar. They're just the corniest possible fucking jokes.
Yeah. I'm Zoomer Dan Ninen. I have my sushi delivered from the 7-Eleven by an app.
Yeah. Whoa. Great punchline.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Yeah. We need to have Edwardian Dan Ninen, but he's Edwardian, but he's actually from the Victorian era, and he keeps lying to people about uranium glass and milk frogs and shit. Yeah. Well, I've already eaten my breakfast of uranium milk frogs, so we can get into whatever the fuck I'm looking at here because I really don't like anything. I feel like you need to tell me what this is about, and then I can tell people what it is that I'm looking at.
Yeah, this is going to be sort of a zoomed out look at basically a decade of a man's life. Like, I mean, it's going to cover like his entire life, but really he's been an internet figure for almost a decade now. And the one on the left is when he sort of first started the venture this is framed around. And the second one is from this month. And it's sort of showing this progression from this like young, starry-eyed entrepreneur to this current sort of very deranged man hawking wellness supplements branded with a very conspicuous Garfield knockoff.
Conspicuous Garfield knockoff is definitely a code phrase that I would use if you were ever like implanted in the KGB. That's what your call sign would be. Or like if you ever hear on the radio conspicuous Garfield knockoff, you know that it's time to return to headquarters.
Yeah, that's my Metal Gear title.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So what I'm looking at here is, on the left hand, we have a Persian man with the sides of his head shaved, and he's kind of got this pursed lips kind of fuckboy face. He's making this kind of smize type of thing. Like, he really wants to look as sexy and as successful as possible. He's wearing this. That's not a tweed suit, is it? I don't know what fabric that is.
If you want to know about menswear, I'm the wrong person to ask.
Yeah. This is a side note, but one thing that I want to do, just for like a reel, I think would be funny, would be to buy a pair of jeans and buy a pair of sweatpants and then just cut them vertically and then just have one leg jeans and one leg sweatpants and then just advertise a revolution in pants wear. Or even like front and back could be funny, just sewing them together so that you have your ass is comfortable, but the front of your body is like, it is business in the front, party in the back, and the party is your ass.
Yeah, and you can record yourself making it and then double dip by doing it as like one of those intentionally bad life hack videos.
Yeah, exactly, man. I love dipping. So anyways, we have this like sexy Persian guy who looks like he would be working in hold on. Is he wearing two vests?
No, it looks like his suit, just the lapels have like a bit of fabric on them. But no, I think you're right.
No, dude, he's wearing two vests, man.
He's double vested.
Okay.
Man.
Yeah, okay. So he's wearing like this kind of tweed suit with a pocket square. It looks like he's got two pocket squares. It is like a warm gray tweed suit. And then inside he has a vest that is a lighter gray. And then inside that he has another vest, which is kind of this burnt orange, reddish color. And then underneath that, he has a white t-shirt that is crisp white. It's the Kanye shirt, probably. And so he's got the matching trousers for the whole thing, right? And so he's like, looks exceedingly put together. In his hand is what I think it is very large. It's like the size of a large pizza. I think it's the Garfield pizza form. Is that correct?
It's an outline of Garfield's head, yes. And pizza.
Yes,
pizza
it is
presser form.
It is a pizza presser. So it's basically like, think of a cookie cutter the size of like a large pizza, and it is just the bizarre silhouette shape of Garfield's head. And on either side of it, in order to facilitate the pressing down of this Garfield shape, on either side of this enormous Garfield cookie cutter, it's like plastic brass knuckles so that you can press it down into the dough. But he's holding it, and like he's trying to like show off his Glock. It's very this guy wants to look tough, successful, and he wants to get pussy from this picture. Okay? That's him however many years ago, right? That's when he first started. And then we're looking at the next picture, which is what you're saying is the modern version of it. And oh my God, it is a night and day difference. He looks like he took the whatever juice that Laura Loomer injects into herself every day. Because his hair is no longer as like turgid. He still has the same cut. He is deeply bronzed, clearly a lifetime of whatever substances he's putting in his body has made his whole face whiter. He's got these bigger cheeks. You can, it's the thing where you Do you know when you're in your 20s, late 20s, and you look at your friends, and then like one day you look at them and you go, I know what you're going to look like when you're 80 years old. You know, I know where I could just saw it. I can see where the lines are going to fall. I can see where the wrinkles are going to come in. I can see that you're going to have the big cheeks. What happened to this guy 5 years ago is that something happened and the telomeres were shortened and he started to become the old man that he's eventually going to become, right? He is now wearing a short-sleeved linen bathrobe, which is not this quadruple breasted tweed suit that he has. He's making kind of a bit of the DreamWorks face. He's deeply tanned. He's clearly got some lip stuff going on. I would be amazed if he didn't have veneers. And he's pointing this product at you. And bear in mind, the background for both of these is just a flat color, right? But in the more recent one, there is a pink and orange cloud shape. And then at the bottom, there is what is obviously Garfield's tail, but a slightly different color, but it's still the same black spot at the end of the tail. And it's legally distinct Garfield, right? And he's holding the product up and it's got, again, the legally distinct Garfield. And the text on it says Nathfield, because his name is Nathan Masry. I should have said that at the start. Nathfield is the brand, and the copy says Bioharmony Wellness for Broken Modern Sins by the Chief Executive Cat. And then there's a big curly Q arrow pointing at the product that says Your Physical Q Strips. Bioharmony Wellness for Broken Modern Sins by the Chief Executive Cat. Your Physical Q Strips.
Which Marilyn
Floor
Manson album
Pizza
is that
Goon
from?
Wife. Yeah. Yeah. I imagine most listeners don't know what the fuck we're talking about. We're gonna tell you, but you need to know where we started and where we ended to understand the journey that this is going to be.
Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Nathan, with an E, Masry's Bad Garfield Breakup.
Oh, yeah, very much, because this is centered all around Garfield. Like, this is someone who has been around for... Oh, yeah. And this is one other thing to sort of show, like, kind of what happened to him. This is sort of a midpoint image from around 2021, I believe, when he published an autobiography. And this is how he kind of tries to sort of sell it. It says, time to blow up your brains and wake the fuck up. Except the F star CK.
Whoa, buddy.
Yeah.
He did not say fuck. He said F***CK. We don't know. That could have been wake the fick up. We don't know. Anything could have been under there. Thank God he censored it, because of all of our listeners here. But again, I'm looking at a guy who's like pointing at the camera, and he's got, okay, this is a reference for literally one listener right now. But he's got Nergal's forehead from the band Behemoth. It's where his hairline is subtly receding, and so he just has this big fucking... He's still styling his hair as if his hairline is at his 25-year-old hairline. And so it's like he has this big fucking forehead, and he's clearly wearing a lot of makeup, and he has that thing that Persian guys do where they are so fully bearded. Persian guys have those big, dark, beautiful beards. But he doesn't want to have the full beard. He also doesn't want to be clean shaven. But if you're just doing scruff, your whole face, like, because he's got hair to up above his nostrils, right? He's got a lot of facial hair follicles. And so he's shaved it down and then used a different length of trimmer for the rest of his beard, which makes it look like he had hair implants for just his beard, because the line is so sharp on his face.
Yeah, it looks like a drag king drew the beard on with like eyebrow pencil or something. Dude. Yeah.
If you told me that this was actually like a 35-year-old Chicago woman pretending to be Nathan Masry, I would be like, good for her. I guess if it is a drag king, it would have to be good for him. And then after the show, I'd be like, good for her, right? It would, in the context of things, gender being transformative and transitional as it is. But that's all. I mean, these images, there's so much to them. So also he's wearing a Garfield colored suit.
Yes.
So whatever, please take it away.
Okay. Yeah. It's fantastic. Like, One of the things about Nathan, before we get into him, that makes him such a fun character is that he's the perfect mix of being insulated from consequence via wealth while also being just utterly powerless and incompetent. So he's somebody who, like, you don't have to feel bad whenever things fail because he's going to be fine. But also he just keeps going up and getting to do things because, as we'll see, he's pretty insulated from consequence. So he's a very fun person to talk about.
Yeah, I do love it when things fall apart. I don't know. Money allows dipshits to continue to fail in interesting ways, and that's how we can have an entire podcast about this guy and not just a footnote. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely, very much. Like, yeah, so and also like not having anybody in your life who cares enough to tell you to know or to calm down or whatever. Just be like, sure thing, boss. You know.
Right, exactly.
Runaways thing, yeah. And also another fun thing is, like, we've talked about business stuff before, and this is kind of a fun illustration of like the difference between positive and negative attention. Like how even someone like this who like got a decent amount of coverage out of all this, like as we'll see, their numbers are nothing for someone who's trying so hard for so long to become mega viral. Like this is kind of a depressing example how you can't really monetize that just by being weird anymore.
I feel like that's been a recurring theme for this pod is that like true numbers of like getting real traction, you have to be genuinely funny and genuinely weird. You can pay people to juice your numbers, like Daily Wire obviously has been doing. And once the money ran out, they're no longer able to juice their numbers and pretend that they got 1 million views on their YouTube video or whatever. And so the manufactured genuine stuff just doesn't fucking work. Because today I've seen so many ads on Instagram that are like, they're paying, thousands and thousands of dollars to run their social media ads, and they're getting no traction at all because it's just a bad ad with bad copy and bad visuals. It just doesn't work. But then I scroll one tick ahead and I see a video of I don't know if you've seen this one, but it's the guy in front of Martin Luther King's house. And he's just like, man, we're in front of Martin Luther King's house. We can hear him giving the speech, but it's different this time. And then he points the camera at the house and you can hear an audio speaker from inside Martin Luther King's house going, my brothers and sisters, I no longer have a dream. I have a nightmare. We're all going to die. Run for your lives. And everybody starts running away. And it's like, if you ended that by just saying, like, eat at Portillo's, I'm like, fucking great ad, dude. This is so fucking funny. But you don't, because you're just like, come get a hot dog. It's like, that's not interesting. I have a nightmare. Oh, yeah. Sorry, this is the first time I've spoken to a human being that didn't want to try to physically harm me in a few days, so I'm amped up right now. Sorry.
I appreciate the trust. Yeah.
Unless you have something to tell me that you're trying to hurt me. But yes, he had money and he was able to fail very much.
Yeah, and also the thing is, like, it's just because he's someone who got a lot of coverage, but like about a half a decade ago. So if you're somebody who's aware of Garfield Eats, Nathan's been up to a lot of stuff since then, and this is sort of a glimpse at some of that. So it's kind of fun to see like the places he's gone from this without ever actually being successful.
Yeah, I bet. Well, where did he get his money?
We're going to find out about that. Yeah, before I get into his life story, I do want to say if this skips around a little bit, seemingly, it's because Nathan is kind of like a fractal. Whenever you try and focus on something, you just find more weird shit about him. So it's like, sometimes I have to be like, okay, this can't go forever. I'm going to cut and move on here. So if you're familiar with the story and you're like, when's he going to get to this part? Or why did he bring up that part? Be like, You remember that pacing is a part of this. I have to account for that. Yeah.
Yes.
And so we might actually return him in the future. There's a couple of these I think might later on deserve to get a full-fledged episode. And also before we get into it, I wanted to shout out Lydia Bug at 1-900 Hot Dogs. She's one of the only people who's been doing sort of like annual check-ins on Nathan Masry and what he's been up to. And her articles for 1-900 Hot Dog have been a good research for this, and also sort of like a fun periodical check-in on him to see like what he's been up to, because he's always up to something.
I don't know anything about Lydia Bug or 1-900 Hot Dog. I do know a little bit about 1-900 Hot Dog, but I do have to say Lydia Bug might be the cutest name for a human being that I have ever heard in my entire life. That is crazy, dude. That is kids book level cute.
Yeah, no, it does pretty well. Like, you have like Sean Baby, who's all like karate and rocket launchers and stuff, like his aesthetic, and then with Lydia Bug, and it's her wearing like power armor, like firing a shotgun at like a space bug. But she's here to talk about this crazy Garfield man. Yeah, no, I really like their house style they have for their authors there, where everyone's bio picture is like them as a GI Joe type figure.
Right. Did I already tell? It's stop me if I've already done this on the pod before, but did I tell you that I had a guy come up to me at the show recently, and he's a very beautiful black man with a very beautiful camera, and he introduced himself, and he's like doing these portraits and stuff like that, and I tell him, "Hi, my name's Winslow Dumaine," and he goes, "Your name's Winslow Dumaine? Damn. My name is Travis." He was just like, "Your name should be my name and my name should be your name. What the hell? What were your parents thinking? You got named after a type of like fine scotch. What the hell?"
That's great.
Anyways, good for you, Lydia Bug. I hope you have a good thing going.
As for where the money comes from, Nathan's father is a billionaire investment banker from Dubai named Haysam Al Masri. And I was able to dig him up from Ento Capital. So he's like just like a cartoon investment banker. He's just somebody who's absent all the time because he lives in Canada. Nathan was born in Montreal, and then what his dad would do is he'd fly off to Saudi Arabia to do accounting work for months at a time and then come back. So right off the bat, this is kind of and there's almost nothing about his mom that I could find, and the fact like he likes her and is still friends with her. So like. It seems like a very, his family situation seems very unusual.
We've already gone on too many tangents here. All I'm going to say is that I understand why when certain countries and certain regions came together and made a flag, that they picked similar colors related to the things that are around them, right? Red, white, and blue, blue, white, and red, France and Russia and the United States. Like, I can understand that. But I'm looking at the flag for Dubai, which is green, white, black, and then a big vertical red stripe. I understand why they pick them to be similar to the ones around them, but you have to understand that, like, after a few years, you have to go, like, wait, is that the Palestinian flag or is that the Dubai flag? Like, everybody should go back to the drawing board on making flags so that everybody's is completely distinct. That's all I'm going to say. Flags should be gifts. Flags should be lenticular. That would be fucking fire.
Fuck yeah, dude.
All right.
New flags brought to you by Trapper Keeper.
Yeah, exactly. Like fucking Lisa Frank. Yeah. I want a flag that glows in the dark.
Yeah, playing the Pledge of Allegiance on the scratchy service. Just like...
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And also, I do think you need to mention, so Nathan was allegedly born in Montreal in 1992. I say allegedly because he looks like he's older than someone who was born in 1992. And also, sometimes his own stuff refers to him being several years older than he should be based on that birthday. So, and also, he's somebody who's just kind of obsessed with youth in general. And a lot of his stuff is about bragging about being the youngest person to do something. So I think that is a part of it, too, is just kind of, yeah, like, of course, if you care that much about your age, you're going to want to try and sweeten the numbers a little.
Yeah, of course. You can't really do that very well these days because, I mean, what you can't truly convince me that you're a different age, but you can definitely like put some, not flack, whatever it is, where you just like put a bunch of different numbers out there and see what people have different things. So he's definitely confused a lot of people, but he's not, I don't think he's convinced anybody of any one number.
Well, yeah, also he's from a family of 9 on top of the parents' situation. So yeah, it's kind of like a, rich fail son type of thing where he's taken care of, but he doesn't really have a lot of guidance or stuff to do. So, he when he becomes an adult in the early 2010s, he starts doing make work jobs for his dad's rich friend. So he's ostensibly on his own, but in that practicality, he just has all these work because of the connections his dad had. Like one of his things is he works as an ad agency and he does ads for like the food brands that like his company is investing in, things like that. So he has these connections to help him build up his resume.
Yeah, I mean, traditional Nepo kind of stuff.
Yeah. And also from there, he starts doing business conferences and motivational speaking. And part of the thing is he's able to get relatively high profile guests as the connections. But also he does do somebody where like he enjoys public speaking and seems to have a flair for it. He's a little dramatic. He has fun with it. And his series he had from 2013 to 2015 was called Brandonomics, which is also sort of this is a thing that he always likes, is he loves portmanteaus. So remember, going forward, whenever you see Brandnomics was one of his first ones. Yeah, and here's a very young Nathan Masry at one of his Brandnomic shows.
Now, is that like what's going on with his ear?
He has like an earpiece, I think. Maybe
okay.
Yeah, because you can see the headset on the other side of his face.
Okay. Because it does look like he has... God, dude, it's fascinating. It looks like he has a tiny teardrop-shaped sideburn. But, you know, he's wearing just he's always had that forehead. So maybe he's not doing the Nurgle thing. Maybe he just has a crazy hairline. But yeah, that's a very young guy. You know, if only he knew what he was going to turn into. Oh, he's blue now.
Yeah, you can find a video of one of his old presentations. So I pulled up some stills of it there. Yeah, and that's sort of one of his gimmicks. Is he has these?
He's yellow now.
What I assume are commissioned animations, and he would do stuff where he would like this one here. There was an animation of a sports car pulling up behind him. He would like jump out of the way as it pulled up and then start talking. So like, yeah, kind of Baby Town, but at the same time, like, if you were sitting at presentations all day, I could see at least it's not boring. At least he's doing something. I could see that working. And also, like, you know, his dad's paying for everything. Of course, you're gonna clap.
Yeah, definitely. If he was born in this country, he would be like a mega church pastor. Doing you know, the big huge presentations. Like I'm picturing like the Jenny Nicholson coverage of all of those bizarre megachurch religious plays.
Yeah, I don't have enough cultural framework to say it definitively, but he does very much feel like if one of like the Righteous Gemstones was set in like Saudi Arabia instead, it was about Muslims. Like he has that
the literally Righteous Gemstones. Yeah. Yeah, the righteous oil futures. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, he changed his color a lot. Apparently, he eventually settles on orange.
yeah, gosh, yeah. And also, Brandnomics. This is all about brands. This is sort of established at the very beginning. His identity is very much tied in the concept of brands and licensing. And
brand debate stuff is this Marvel versus Capcom for like even worse dorks with even more cocaine. Like, it's just imagine hanging out with a bunch of guys in suits arguing about whether like Clorox is a superior brand to dude wipes or whatever. Just
Johnson & Johnson, are they a family company? Discuss.
Are they or are they not? Why are there two? Why isn't it just the Johnsons? If you were truly a family, you would be a family fucking unit. But yeah. Anyways.
And so outside of this work as well, he has a creative side, but it's the type that only the fail son of a billionaire can have, where he starts taking acting classes, according to him, alongside Ryan Gosling. So this is another thing about him, too, is that he never just has a thing happen to him. It's always like the coolest version of it that could have possibly happened. So yeah, he's just, and also this is like a post-fame Ryan Gosling, too, because this would have been like, you know, around the time of Drive. It's just like, oh, he's in my class. And yeah, he took those classes and they started making short films. So...
Yeah, it does make me think of the bizarre comedy lunatic that I knew back in the day who hung out with a friend who had been doing comedy like 20 years longer than she had. And at the dinner, Janeane Garofalo happened to be there. And maybe at the dinner, Janeane Garofalo said, well, you seem like a hard worker. And so that's what happened. And then the story that was told was, well, I was getting dinner with Janeane Garofalo, and she said I was the hardest working comedian in all of Hollywood right now. And you know, it's I took classes with the guy that trained Keanu Reeves for all the John Wick, and it's just like, no, you took an entry level course with a guy who worked with a guy who worked with a guy who may have like gotten drinks with John Woo at some point in time. It would be like us talking about how, like, we are major political broadcasters, and it's just not the fucking case. Desperate climbers do this all the time.
Yeah, it very much, especially when it feels like, you know, yeah, I don't have anything to add to that. Just
as
an example of what the sort of one of his projects, you can watch this on YouTube. It's not very good. It's called Ahmed and Howard, starring Nathan Masry and Jake Novak, with the tagline, history tore them apart, hummus brought them together. And then there's Nathan Masry doing the soy face over a somewhat disgruntled looking man around his age.
Man, I don't like any of this.
Yeah.
Like, the way that my screen is formatted here, like, oh man, there's just too much detail on these guys' faces, man. The guy underneath him has a much stronger head of hair. I don't know. Maybe that's just my Eurocentric ideals, but I just think he has nicer hair. It's the Tina Fey thing, the Liz Lemon, where like you're on if you're a comedian, you can never tell the photographer that you're a comedian because then you're going to be like taking a rubber chicken out of your butt with like a propeller hat, and you're going to be doing like comedy things where you're like, oh, like the microphone is a penis, you know? It's like this pose for this poster makes absolutely no sense. It doesn't look good. It just has your two faces in it. Man, no, I don't like any of this. Take it away from me.
I don't either, yeah. And also on YouTube, it only has 2.8 thousand views on the YouTube channel. And this is the YouTube channel that he uses for everything. So keep that in mind with everything that's going forward, his actual creative projects that he ostensibly, like he wrote and directed this and everything. It only has like a couple thousand views out of all this.
Yeah, God, do not, if you are the lead in your creative project, do not pick someone who's going to mog you on your own photo. You know what I mean? Because this dude is very much getting mogged. And this is old. It's 10 years ago, so it's I would say it's old enough that the cover for the video is not a still that like you edited and you put the text on so that's like a clickable link. It's just a screenshot from the video, and it just looks like shit. It just looks like super yellowy old footage. Yeah, don't like any of this.
Yeah. Yeah, but it all takes place in this one convenience store. And it's like, just like, Ahmed and Howard. It's like Ahmed is a Muslim guy, and then Howard is a Jewish guy. And they both want hummus, but there's only one hummus left. And it's like, what if that one episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm just fucking sucked and wasn't funny? Like that's kind of what the thing is. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I have the actual summary from the YouTube channel here. Would you like to? I've been chatting a bunch. Would you like to read it?
Fresh, bold comedy of two young men, an Israeli and a Palestinian, divided apart by history and brought together at a grocery store to solve the Middle East crisis with one hummus at a time. Okay, dude, come on. Okay, the two is capitalized for two young men, whatever. Divided apart by history, so just divided. Brought together at a grocery store to solve the Middle East crisis with one hummus at a time. Can you say one hummus? I'm against all of this. Produced by Nathan Masri, written by Nathan Masri, Instagram at Nathan Masri. Mark Jacobs. John Madden.
Paper by the Ream. Yeah, we know who to blame for this.
Why is it so yellow?
Yeah, it's so, I guess he's trying to go for like a warm, it just feels like a really bad sloppy color correction to try to make it look cozy. Instead, it just looks like it was AI generated, like the fist filter. And yeah, I guess this is kind of interesting because Nathan Masri's sexuality is like, he's someone who does not seem to be into women at all. But the thing is, like, he's born in Canada, but his family and his family money is tied up in the United Arab Emirates, where homosexuality is illegal and Sharia law is ostensibly at play in some places. So basically, he has this weird kind of thing where he's really into being celibate. His thing is that he's a proud celibate man. What he's being celibate from, he never clarifies. There have been sometimes where he tries to talk about like getting women to date him, but like in a dating show type of way. Just keep on through all this. His sexuality seems very interesting and up in the air at all times.
Yeah, I don't think that anybody wore this kind of, because he's wearing an American Eagle salmon colored polo shirt. It got just bizarre fit on this man. I don't know. I think that, like, obviously homosexuality is would be really complicated for somebody in the UAE. But I also think that there are a number of people who are ace, but don't quite realize it. And for them, like, the socialization around sexuality is like really complicated because they are being told everywhere that you need to be attracted to this type of person all the time, or maybe you're gay and you're actually attracted to this type of person. And they don't really feel either, but they kind of go with one or the other, and they just try to like blend in. But it, like, you can kind of tell that there's something that's not clicking, I guess.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. I kind of get the same vibe as well, that it might be somebody who is like asexual or has like maybe like his mental state changes. And so it is sort of like levels change with that. But yeah, it does very much. Also, like in my personal experience, it is kind of a thing I've noticed where like there's that Margaret Atwood quote, which about that's just absolutely true about how, like, you know, the worst thing, I mean, like, men are worried about being embarrassed when they're on a date, whereas a woman's worried about being like killed. And that's absolutely true. But the flip side of that is, like, when both sides are kind of like equally appealing to you, it's a lot easier to get men to like open up to you and like you, or, you know, to sort of trust you enough to be intimate, as opposed to, like, maybe you don't have to convince them that you're going to kill them. So it's just a little easier right from the start. So I can kind of almost see like some of that where it's like, well, this is the group I get along with. This was kind of how I was socialized and raised. This is what I feel comfortable with. Whereas like women are the other, and he does not seem like someone who's very comfortable being around an other.
Yeah. It does just seem, I mean, I don't know this guy personally, but I've met people that are like this, where it seems that like romance and sexuality and relationships are boxes that you check so that people don't ask too many questions, or that you just do this because this is what you're supposed to do, and you know, the number of people that I've seen, like, who, when you ask them, like, why did you have children or start a family, or like, why are you still in contact with a family that treats you very poorly, they're like, well, that's what you're supposed to do. So I don't know, there's a lot to look into it, but like, we don't know enough about this guy to, I know enough about to dunk on him. Oh, wow. Hold on.
Yeah. Like,
keep scrolling. Forget what I was saying. What the fuck am I looking at here?
He still uses the YouTube channel that Nathan Howard video is from. And so I wanted to sort of show like how his condition has regressed over the years. Like, this is now, it's just like AI slop of the same image as both the header and avatar. So like you could see, it's almost like you cut open a tree and you can see the different layers. Like, okay, yeah, this is when he got really into this thing. This is when he tried to be an actor. And like, this is the current layer. We're currently in the AI slop Nathan Masri era.
Listener, this is so much to look at here.
It's very upsetting.
I'm looking at Nathan Masri TV, his YouTube channel. And okay, so yes, the background is like some buildings in the sky and shit, and then there's a neon sign that says "Evita e lasagna," which I don't know what the life is lasagna or something like that. I don't know, whatever that would be. In the foreground, there is a big, like, glistening pile of AI generated, you know, like the overly round and squishy looking AI generated food, but it's a pile of like meaty, cheesy lasagna with a bit of basil on top. And then in the foreground is what looks like okay, but it's not though, because in his profile pictures a different crop of it. Okay, so it is it's an AI generated pseudo realistic image of Garfield, except for the fact that instead of Garfield's cat face, it is Nathan. I keep wanting to say Nathan Fielder. Nathan Masri's face, like, superimposed on top of it, color matched to Garfield, with big, long whiskers coming out and a big red nose, but it's all color matched down to be Garfield's color. And so that's bizarre. It's like he just cut out his face, put it onto Garfield's body, and then added these extra features. And the features do have shadows and depth, which is kind of funny. But on top of all of this, he is still giving you the dreamy, pursed lips fuckboy face. He's looking at you like, don't you want to fuck this cat in front of this lasagna? It's like, knowing what I know now about his sexuality, it's like he's mimicking the things that pretty fuckboys do. Because he's not trying to look tough, he's not trying to look strong, he's trying to look very, very pretty. And he's trying to look like a fuckable lasagna cat. It's bizarre. And like, you know, he's probably laughing a little bit about it, but he's also posting it in earnest.
Yeah, this is how he's choosing to represent himself and like the place that he represents his businesses and such.
Exactly that.
It is very, so like, especially you guys, like, people on the internet have tried so hard and so much to make Garfield be like spooky and scary. Seeing an actual unsettling Garfield in the wild like this is quite a, you know, just one of the ways that Nathan's very special.
Right.
Cool, yeah. So now, it's by the mid 2010s. Nathan's in his 20s now, and he needs a big project to throw all of his energy behind. And like a lot of people with too much money, he thought opening a restaurant was his calling. So not just any restaurant, though. This is going to be an officially licensed Garfield restaurant. That was going to be the secret sauce. Because remember, his background is in licensing and brands and in food and such. So he was just like, why not combine the two? And so in 2018, in February, in Dubai, we got Garfield Eats, the very first Garfield quick mobile app restaurant.
Now, to what degree Garfield is like an enormous brand. Some fucking how. I mean, Jim Davis made it obviously like this huge brand, and I'm pretty sure The Dollop did an episode about it, about like the scale of this brand. But like, to what degree does this American cartoon lasagna cat from the 80s have any cultural purchase in Dubai?
That's partly, I think it's because it's just a license he was able to get. Like, that's one of the things about that's weird too, is he seems like somebody who is very devoted and passionate to Garfield, but also it kind of feels like he would just be about that with like whoever would take him to the dance, basically, and that's who he got. So,
girl, yeah. Dude, same. I know that feeling when yeah. Fascinating. Passionately devoted to Garfield. Anyways.
Yeah, and also it's worth pointing out the tagline for Garfield Eats.
Love me, feed me, don't leave me. Garfield Eats. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's very, that's apparently that is an actual Mangled Garfield quote from the 2004 Garfield movie with Bill Murray, where he says, love me, feed me, never leave me. And somehow, yeah, also, what a very ugly movie it is. Like, that was back before they figured out how to make, like, 2D and live action stuff interact okay. Like, my younger siblings would have that all the time. Like, there were times where they're trying to hold the cat, and he's just kind of floating around in midair because they couldn't figure out how to make it work. Just hideous movie. Yeah,
man, that looks like Barfield. You know Barfield, right? That fucked up, like, microwaved Garfield.
Yeah, like, if that's out of context, love me, feed me, don't leave me. Like, if you could find that written on a wall in Silent Hill, like, that is kind of ominous.
Yeah, dude. That, love me. No, that's Growing My Grandpa. That's what that's very niche gaming reference for you. Yeah, that's what that is. It's Garfield Eats with Eats all capital.
Here, I have a big block of text here. It says, Garfield Eats is a new food experience brought to you by the world's first, quote, entergaging app, an entertaining and engaging app created by the co-founder Nathan Masri that replaces the quick service restaurant with the quick mobile restaurant. The app immerses the user in a complete Garfield experience, offering cartoons and augmented reality gaming while waiting for your delivery and food on the menu. Delicious, healthy, farm-to-play, all one word, and then parentheses F2P, lasagna, of course. And guess what? World's first pizza shaped like Garfield and baked in a wood fire oven, ordered through the app and delivered quickly to anyone in Dubai. Also, because Garfield loves his coffee, enter the Garfuccino, made with 100% Arabica coffee from Italy, but with flavorful and natural spices, dark chocolate or fruits. Like, yeah, if there's one thing we know about Garfield, he loves his coffee.
He does canonically drink coffee. Entergaging. Got to put
the portmanteaus, man.
The portmanteaus, man. App immerses the user in a complete Garfield experience. The complete Garfield experience is not one that I think that the human mind can ever truly experience. It's kind of like going to the sunken city of Urle, where like it doesn't work for our frontal lobes and it causes us to go mad. Yeah, I mean, dog, the world's first Garfield-shaped pizza. I don't know. Like, who cares? It makes me think of the first episode of Smiling Friends where they go to Dave Land. And there's all these like Dave-themed roller coasters, and there's Dave drinks, and there's Dave cotton candy, and there's like the Dave ride over here, and there's Dave this and Dave that, and then there's Dave from the Dave land, and he's just got like a little folding table set up, and he's got his hands folded, and he's just sitting there, and everybody's walking by him, and one of the characters goes, "Wait, who's that?" And he goes, "Oh, that's Dave. It's Dave Land. He owns the park." And it's just great that like everything is Dave themed. But nobody gives a fuck about Dave. People are aware of Garfield. Garfield doesn't have any shooters. Disney has shooters. so all of these other things have like Marvel has shooters. Marvel has people still debating. I'm sure there's some freaks who are like hotly debating Garfield, but like Garfield doesn't have cultural cachet. It has brand money. That's it. You know, like it's just money. It could be any other character. Why am I doing this?
It's very totemic. He seems to almost have it's like almost shamanistic. His attitude, it's like, well, there's this big brand, and I take a little piece of it, and that gives me its strength, so my brand will be good. Like, it seems like it's very cute, the thinking on display. Yeah. So I found one of his presentations from when Dubai was opening, the first one. Also, this projector image that they put this on, where they took a Garfield and erased his eyes and tried to turn to a projector screen, but instead he just looks like a horrible little like a Cyclops Garfield.
Yeah, it's Garfield, but you're right. They just, in place of his eyes, it's just that big oval-y shape with the little bump at the bottom where his nose is. And it's just like, they just carved out his face and made it a projector screen. And again, he's like trying to look so fucking cool because he's like, he is, we're doing 2 back-to-back Nathans, right? And this is kind of like Nathan Alabak sold his soul for the identity of Steakums. I guarantee you, Nathan Alabak has access, like he has Steakums swag in his house right now. I can guarantee that, right? And this dude is like dressed out in a Garfield colored suit. And he's all Garfield because he just like managed to get a license for a Garfield themed restaurant,
Yeah, and that's like a custom suit he had made. It has the black stripes of Garfield's whiskers on the lapels. Like it's like a whole matching outfit.
Fascinating. He's dressed
up.
You
can see really close. The buttons have like a little cartoon smiling Garfield head on each one. Like it looks like an actually decently tailored suit, and the buttons look like something like on a child's overalls. It's very silly looking.
All of this makes it seem like he is a couple stages away. Like imagine like an Animorph's transition from normal human man. He is like 2 stages away from becoming a bowl of Kraft mac and cheese. That is how orange this man is. Because he's wearing so much bronzer. He's covered in orange. Like, he's so close to just becoming a bowl of macaroni. Yeah.
Just wake up and roll around in your big bin of mac and cheese powder.
This is like what good pussy sounds like. Yeah. in your baby pool full of macaroni.
That's like he says, Garfield's creator, Jim Davis, said he was delighted with the concept. Quote, in 40 years, no one has ever come to me with a better thought out plan to deliver great food in a fun and engaging way. I also admire their insistence on keeping the menu healthy and the environment safe. And yeah, kind of tying what you said. Here's Nathan at Jim Davis's licensing office, I guess, because there's all the different swag that they're selling, and one of their ads about how Garfield can give your brand some catitude.
Well, that's true.
There's a Garfield motorcycle helmet, which is like
that's so interesting.
Yeah, and also Jim Davis looks like the most dead-looking living person I've ever seen. Just every picture of him, he looks like he's just gonna make like a puff of dust.
Like a moth is gonna come out of his mouth. This is really interesting. Because Jim Davis speaking about this deal very much gives the feeling of like a king talking about marrying off his most eligible daughter. He's just like, I've never seen greater tracts of land, like the knights of Garfield land will serve us well, Yeah, he's very much an elder statesman of a cartoon cat that he has not written for or about for 20 or 30 years, right? Fascinating.
God, yeah, it's just so interesting to see him there. And also, I think one of the sort of wrinkles, like he says earlier, is that this was a delivery-only restaurant in Dubai. It's what we would now know is a ghost kitchen, basically, where just like they would sell like Garfield branded stuff and have it delivered throughout there. And it got some press internationally just from how weird a concept it was. Like this was when I first became aware of Nathan, was this first round of Garfields. Because people were like, dude, check it out. It was a funny internet story to be like, yeah, there's this Garfield-themed restaurant in Saudi Arabia. Like even back then, people knew like, yeah, that place is weird.
Yeah, this seems unsustainable and dumb and bad. God, I don't like the idea of having Garfield on the back of my head.
Yeah, instead of the helmet being his face on the front, it's his face on the back. It's like, yeah,
and also,
it's like a horror movie Garfield.
They could have, because they make bike helmets with ears, right? With the cat ears that stick
you're
out.
right.
But they didn't do that because they would have to be facing back. And so, like, yeah, I don't know, because Garfield's character is so simple that, like, just having an orange helmet with, like, Garfield-themed ears wouldn't really work. So you have to have his head looking out the back of you, so it kind of looks like you're the, who's the two-headed guy, or the two-faced guy from the first Harry Potter book?
Yeah, it does kind of have a Professor Quirrell vibe to
Yeah,
it.
yeah, where Voldemort's head is face is in the back of his head, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Just put a turban on your motorcycle helmet. There will be no negative knock-on effects of driving around with a turban on.
Yeah, that's what I'm always saying. Just stack it high.
Yeah, and I have some more Garfield Eats here stuff, because one of the things about that also made it sort of uncanny right from the beginning is that Nathan's personality is all over it. Like, he's as much a part of the brand as Garfield. Like, these are actual, like, promotional things he put out for it, where it's like little comic strips of him and Garfield interacting and doing a little bit of interplay. So...
okay.
I'll be.
There's a lot to say here.
Yeah, would you like me to be Garfield and you to be Nathan when we read them? But yeah, you can react to it first.
Because it's just an orange background and it's a very swag-looking Nathan trying to look as cool as possible, and he's wearing the kind of the Pee Wee Herman suit where the ankle is like showing a little bit, and he's got his trainers on. Orange background, and again, he's trying to look very sexy. But one thing I don't like is that, like, a thought bubble, you have, like, circle, 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 big cloud shape above your head, right? But because, okay, this picture is so fucking stupid. This podcast is so hard because, like, having to explain why this picture is bad is complicated. Because Nathan is 5 foot whatever, however tall he is. Garfield is as tall as a cat is standing up with big cat feet. And Garfield's pointing up at Nathan, but Garfield is like just above Nathan's knees, right? So Garfield's thought bubble comes first in this comic, which means that he needs to have bubble, 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 big thought bubble above it. And then Nathan's, because he's so high up, his bubble needs to go below that, but they didn't have the arrow pointing to his mouth. They have it pointing to his arm, which doesn't make sense because it's just like, it's just bizarre. So you take Garfield and I'll take Nathan. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So Garfield says, "This is the man who made a pizza out of my face. That's nice, but I'd prefer it in my mouth."
Yep, Garfield, that's me. You've had enough pizza. Save some for the people of Dubai. Share the love. I like the first promo piece for your restaurant is telling your own mascot to knock it off.
No food. The jokes will be enough to sell this place. Yeah.
Oh man.
And then this one here is
it is just again Nathan looking real swag, but he's just got a white t-shirt on and he's kind of jumping at you with his hands out like he's pouncing. Man, what? Okay, Jesus. It says. Okay, Nathan is saying, Garfield, why are we running? Running away will never make us free.
Yeah, Judge Garfield responds, I have no idea. I thought you knew.
Garfield, why are we running? Running away will never make us free. That is such an eerie thing to say.
He's very haunting.
Garfield, why are we working so hard? Well, because work will be free. Arbeit macht frei. You know, like what? Running away will never make us free. That is something that you say when you're from a country that has slaves. You know? Like, that's something you tell your slaves. Running away will never make you free. Finish building the dome for the World Cup. You know? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but what are you doing in Canada, the country that famously people ran away to because they would be free there?
Jesus, dude.
God, yeah. It's very funny when he tries to coin these phrases like brandonomics and engagement. They're awful, but he just will randomly make up something like that is beautiful and haunting. Yeah.
Oh, don't like this. Man.
Yeah. Here.
Dude, it's okay. One thing that is kind of like, the graffiti and like the grime in the background is very fun. One thing that is very funny to see is when somebody you normally only see press photos of them, and then you finally see them in real life, and they genuinely look like a Temu version of themselves, because in your press photos you're all polished up and you look all gussied and you look fancy, and the lighting is perfect and your full face is there. And so all of the photos I've seen him so far have been like really professionally done. And then this is clearly a photo taken on somebody's phone in an alley, and so none of it's perfect. He's standing next to a Garfield mascot, which is a very ugly, bizarre mascot because none of the proportions make sense. He's wearing his goofy little Garfield suit, but he's also somewhat backlit and not fully smiling, so he's kind of got this tight face, and it's just kind of this rictus, and there's like graffiti on the walls in the background. So it definitely looks like Garfield and Garfield human, Garfield-san, are both gonna like kick your ass in this fucking the alley behind their pizza restaurant because you couldn't pay the tabby cat. We could have done something there, but I'm just gonna leave on the table.
No, absolutely agree. Yeah, like, I remember when things like when this first started, almost a part was like, is this lasagna cat? Is this related to lasagna cat in some way? Because this almost does feel like a lasagna cat bit. Like, is this like their version of a dumb Starbucks? But no, this was all real. And just him walking down the street all ominous and uncanny looking with the Garfield costume looking right at the camera. Just, this feels like there should be a twist at the end or something.
Yeah, I don't like this.
So one of the things that Nathan talks about himself here, he self-describes as, quote, the world's youngest Garfield licensee and founder of the first Garfield Eats lasagna fast food chain. So yeah, the thing about him being the youngest Garfield licensee is very much one of those, like, I need some sort of record to break for this.
Yep.
This works, yeah.
Okay, how about this? Imagine you only knew Garfield as someone else's persona, and then you had to reverse engineer what they look like in real life based on the aspects of their persona. And so it's like if I only knew Garfield, and then I was like, well, actually, Garfield is a person, and the Garfield persona is like this fiction, and then you had to like reverse engineer it. That's what this looks like. It looks like he's the pilot of the Garfield identity.
You're right. It's like one of those like artists. Put yourself next to your art or whatever.
Your OC,
it means. It gets on social media. That's what he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
He describes licensing the Garfield brand as, quote, working for a cartoon. Like he anthropomizes it to the degree that he acts like Garfield is his actual boss, which. Like, and not in a way that he's just play acting for the camera. He seems to actually legitimately think that it's like he thinks the stripper is actually his friend. Like he thinks like, wow, I've paid for Garfield to work with my restaurant. I can't believe Garfield has signed off on what I'm doing.
Yeah. Again, like, name the last time Garfield intentionally made you smile.
Yeah. like everyone of our age, I guess it's like, yeah, like the old cartoon from the 80s it was fine. There was like a Halloween special that was kind of spooky, and then there's like some shit posts with that weird Australian CGI cartoon. That's about it. Yeah.
Yep. Zero cultural cachet.
Yeah, he's like Hello Kitty. He's a mascot. You don't need to actually do anything. You're just the product now.
Right. Exactly. Okay.
So, yeah, but this was almost all kind of build up because now June 21st, 2019, this is when he gets really put on the map because this is when Garfield Eats opens up location in Toronto, Canada. So now there's one open in the Western world, and it's now it's an actual physical restaurant. But the thing is, it's still app based. So if you went inside, they just had tablets on the wall with the app on it, and you would use that to order that way. So. And there's not even like a table, like much tables or anything there to sit down and eat. They expect people to just kind of walk out with their food. I can't, again, I know that we've already commented on it, but love me, feed me, don't leave me is such a sad thing to say. That's just as big on the sign as Garfield Eats. The Garfield Eats logo is actually kind of unintelligible. It looks like this is a restaurant called Love Me, Feed Me, Don't Leave Me. That's like, maybe it's because I'm currently going through some shit, but like, that's kind of it's the smallest of my heartstrings it's tugging on. Cause it's like, it's such a sad thing to say. Love me. Asking someone to love you. Ugh. Feed me? Whatever. Don't leave me? Like, that's a really sad thing to name your business. Jesus. Yeah. Put it in Comic Sans, 8 inches tall.
Yeah, that I genuinely I'm feeling a lot of things right now. So I'm just going to say I feel bad for a Garfield right now. Like, it just is a really sad thing to put on your business.
Really is everything about it. And also it doubles down on the branding. Like in the building itself, you can see through the window, there's like, you'll see more close-ups later, but they have actual comic strips, like wallpapering the top of the window. They have them vinyl clings of them, like on the wall in the back. The pizza boxes themselves have Garfield comics on them, so you can enjoy pizza-related laughs while you're eating your pizza. Like, you know, here's one where Garfield's or telling John what to order by pantomiming the ingredients. Like for mushrooms, he holds up an umbrella. If I was 7, I think this was really funny.
Yeah. Again, it's just a pizza-related Garfield comic strip on a pizza box. Like, it's, man.
And that's it. Just like a flat orange color everywhere else. Like, this is like when I try and do graphic design. Yeah. This is just like assets placed on a flat color with nothing. Like, brutal. Very unappealing.
Brutal. There it is.
And speaking about appealing, there's the Garfield head-shaped pizza.
Yep. That, you know, man, I don't like to be this kind of guy, but that just looks like balls.
Yeah.
It does kind of just look like if you just snipped a full pair right off of a man.
Just they made truck nuts, but to stay.
Yep. It's like if we had a truck nuts themed pizza. And also because of this, because it's a Garfield shaped pizza, all of it is like all of the pieces are different slices. And so if you're like, well, I'll have we're splitting this pizza among everybody, who gets how much? And like the top half of the pizza is significantly smaller than the bottom half. It just doesn't work, man. Yeah. Pi r squared.
Yeah, you're paying full pizza price, but you're getting a Garfield head-shaped one. So it's like they're not passing the savings on to you.
No, they're not. This sucks. Yeah. Boo.
It does, yeah. Or I guess as some of their ad copy describes it, the world's first Garfield-shaped pizza. Yeah, with this broccoli and avocado vegetable pizza.
Yeah, they didn't even line it up. It's, this is it's broccoli, avocado, bell peppers.
Green pepper, I think.
Yeah, and then like a pesto sauce with mozzarella, which, like, I don't know, maybe that's good. But like, they have it a split face, so you see one half is Garfield's face and the other half is the pizza that's roughly shaped like it. But again, listener, we're talking about a pizza roughly shaped in the silhouette of Garfield's head. It is, nothing has mattered less. This is like, okay, cool, man. Yep.
That's the big deal. That's just jump to conclusions, Matt. That's the thing that's going to make it with him.
Yeah, so, I guess.
Yeah. And also, this was in a relatively trendy area, and Nathan was all over Toronto's business press. So this got the attention of some capital Y YouTubers and was sort of a general news story at the time. Like, I just searched on here, like Stray Jayons did a video on it. Thoughts Slime did one. My brother and me.
I think I remember the Thoughts Slime one.
A whole month squad about it. Yeah, I think that was how a lot of people first learned about it. That's one of the things I remember breaking it was because I was like, wait, didn't this happen like a year or two ago? And then it was like, oh yeah, no, it's just now it's reached YouTube level. But it was, I remember that's how I first heard about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it does make sort of a decent amount. I think like the YouTuber Quentin Reviews had sort of a correspondence with Nathan because he wound up like wanting one of his stuffed animals or something. Nathan was kind of a figure in the online because he's somebody who likes the attention and is willing to play along with whatever. So. Yeah, he would be in people's videos.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's somebody who is using the facade of being eccentric to make it seem like he's actually cool with all of this. But it's like, just so we're clear, we're making fun of you. It's not that we think that like this is such a cute and funny idea. We think that you're bizarre. Your app doesn't work. Your pizza sucks. And like, we think that you're an actual lunatic. And the trouble is that, like, if you shine a light on a lunatic, they just think that you're putting them in a spotlight. I don't know. I've known some people like this professionally where it's like, oh, man, I like where you are right now, but I don't want you to have any more power. I think that you should have safety scissors. Like, I don't want you to have any degree of power because you're insane. You're not evil. You're not bad, but you are utterly deranged. You know?
That's very much Nathan.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, like, Nathan does love the attention. Like, he tries to get a reality show made, and when they don't pick it up, he releases his own. Like, he basically takes the pilot he shot and releases it for free online. Classic. Like, one of this image I have here is from it, where it's him wearing the Garfield suit, posing with a cat that he had adopted, which was like an orange cat named Garfield. And he's like, "Oh, do I look like a villain?" Like, he's like trying to be like, "Oh, look at how, yeah, like, look, don't I look like a Bond villain with my cat and my suit and everything?" Just leading into the image. But the actual documentary just kind of makes him look like a bad boss. Like, a lot of it is him, like, just yelling at people. Or there's this one bit, it feels like the people making it are kind of on the side of the employees. There's this one bit where he's like, Devon, and it cuts to Devin. He's like, well, actually, it's Devin. You know, like, this guy he works for, like, he just keeps getting his name wrong. And then they highlight, yeah, you can tell from the body language. It's just a lot of people being like, oh, this fucking guy.
Yeah, this guy doesn't, you know that he doesn't work for a pizza restaurant because he's still there in his super tightly fitted suit, and he's wearing the Garfield suit with the whisker lapels, and he's talking to this woman who is wearing an apron, and she's just like, oh, this motherfucker. Like, you know, you can tell who does all the work, and it's not the guy wearing the suit. You don't wear a suit if you're going to break a sweat, you know?
Yeah, also your boss, he's like scolding you while he's wearing AirPods.
Yeah, dude, fuck off. Yeah. Also, I have to say, having an orange cat and a real life orange cat and naming it Garfield at your Garfield-themed restaurant just seems like it would be really confusing.
Yeah.
You know, like I
didn't even think of that aspect of the monomania.
Yeah, the monomania, and like you just have to keep when we talk about Garfield, we need to remind ourselves which Garfield we're talking about, because now we've included another Garfield in here. It's like having like a part of this restaurant be dedicated to the memory of President Garfield, and then we have to like explain which Garfield we're talking about when we talk about Garfield. It's just unnecessary.
A fun detail you can find under scrutiny is that one of the sort of like bullet points of the restaurant was their environmental commitment. They're what they call the rebox repurposed packaging, which I will read their ad copy here. It says, "At Garfield Eats, we make sure your meals arrive fresh and safe in the most environmentally responsible and repurposed packaging available. We call it Rebox, and Mother Nature will love it. Pizza boxes convert to plates, lasagna boxes into tissue boxes, drink cups into pencil holders, and more. We are committed to developing fully repurposable, recyclable, and compostable Garfield Eats boxes for a better tomorrow." Now that's smart. And you might be thinking it can't be that dumb, but no, it's literally just them saying we don't make trash because you could use our trash as other things. Like one of their videos, it's like 15 seconds long, transform Garfield cup to pencil holder. It literally just shows an image of the empty cup and put some pens in it. And it's like, enjoy, your cup is now a pencil holder. Just put your office utensils in this food residue container. Enjoy.
Wow. I didn't think it would be that stupid, but you've impressed me. You're just, it is literally just like, you can't say that this is trash if you keep the trash in your house. You know, this is pretty impressive. Garfield Eats on YouTube, 430 subscribers. My Discord, 1,000 people. I'm mogging this motherfucker.
Yeah. I have more YouTube subscribers than Garfield Eats, and I haven't uploaded a video in years. Like,
that's crazy.
It's so funny. God, yeah. Or the even more egregious one, enjoy your Garfield tissue box, where the idea was if you got the lasagna, which it was like in a tin in a box, the box had a little slot at the top. So once you eat the lasagna, you pop the hole out of the top, and then you stick a bunch of tissues in the lasagna box, and now it's a tissue box. Just as long as there's no lasagna residue inside of your delivery box, in which case now you're just going to have lasagna-soaked tissues.
That's fuck, man. Yeah. I don't know what to say. Like, it literally is just like, it's just trash. It's like if milk jugs were like, hey, you can use this. We're 100% recyclable because you can use this when you change your oil, you know?
Maybe that is a Canadian thing too, because like I've never gotten, like, aside from like the little personal size packs, I've never gotten tissues that didn't already come in a box. Like, did tissues come in a bag in Canada, like milk or something? Maybe it's one of those cultural things. I know that milk comes in bags in Canada, and in America, soldiers come in bags.
But I don't know. I don't know anything about that. Maybe wet wipes come in a thing, but then like tissues already come in a box, man. Maybe it's like at hotels where you have the plastic lid on top But like, that's for nobody. Who cares?
Yeah, like I get the ones that are like a cute little squid or something, or at least it's like a novelty. But this is just a box. Like I guess being a Garfield Eats branded box would be a novelty now, but for a very specific audience.
Yeah. I know a couple people who would buy it ironically. I don't know a single human being on this earth that would actually want that intentionally to have. I need more pictures of Garfield in my life.
And so on top of just the inherently limited appeal of an expensive, that's the thing too, the prices were not cheap. This was like more expensive than a regular place. But on top of it being an expensive Garfield theme, it was also it was delivery app based, like I mentioned. But also, he opened the place the year before COVID-19 started. So he opens this restaurant. He gets to ride out that very small initial rush of enthusiasm, have some doldrums, and then COVID-19 happens and everything shuts down. He had a unique complication because he made everyone wear these Garfield face masks. So everyone just has these horrible rictus grins on their faces. And the pictures.
That is, wow, that is very close to Mr. Sardonicus. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, hang on. I think I can think of several figures that this would max up with.
Okay.
He kind of has like an Emerton Joe from a Mad Max.
Right, but hold on. I have to show you this picture because this is a reference that I make every once in a while that nobody gets. This is Mr. Sardonicus. It's from I think it's a 50s horror movie where a guy does some sort of evil thing.
You're right. That is the exact smile.
Wins the lottery, and then he has this
good catch.
Hideous, fucked up special effects smile that is stricken to his face where he can never stop smiling. It's kind of a monkey's paw type of horror movie. Yeah. But yeah, now he has a bunch of Mr. Sardonicus cat faces in his pizza restaurant. Oof.
Also, eventually his restaurant storefront did have to shut down as part of the quarantine. So one of the ways that he tried to ride this out was by diversifying into licensed frozen food. So yeah, now that we have the world's first Garfield lasagna being on sale from a company called Big Cow Lasagna, which basically he licensed a store brand to put Garfield on their existing product and sell it through his storefront. So just drop shipping with food.
Right, basically. Exactly. Yeah, you're just moving over it. You're going the route of the dill burrito.
When this was happening, I know the complication was he couldn't ship it internationally, so all the Americans that were like, sure, I'll spend however much to have this just for the novelty. He was like, sorry, we can't send it to America. Only Canadians.
Yeah. Again, you're just threading this needle where it's if you did this in the United States, you could pull this off in Iowa. Des Moines could have could sustain this, but you can't do it. I don't know. You just can't do it in Canada because who gives a shit? Because Americans will eat anything, Yeah.
Also, Garfield isn't even from Canada. Right. He's an American invention.
It's bizarre.
I don't really know any Canadian comic strip characters now I think about it, so I can't do a reference that would work for that.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't name a single one. Probably for the better. I don't need that kind of information in my life.
Speak for yourself.
I guess that's your job. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of my bread and butter. But I guess another interesting complication that happens is that when he first bought Garfield, it was owned by Paws Inc. It was an independent, licensing company that it was owned, Jim Davis's. But afterwards, it was acquired by Nickelodeon. So after the Garfield Eats opens, now Garfield has a new owner with a much bigger interest in maintaining a brand image, and they have this unhinged guy who kind of gotten right when the door was closing, who's running around with their brand. So understandably, Garfield Eats shut down in November of 2020, and then shortly thereafter, the license was revoked. So the restaurant lasted 17 months before it had to close its doors.
Brutal. God. Yeah. And you probably just never ran a profit that whole way.
Yeah, and also with his dad presumably bankrolling this, it probably didn't even have to be that profitable. Probably could have operated a little loss or something, but no, this place just cratered. I remember that was the thing too, is people would check in and be like, yeah, there's nobody at Garfield Eats. They would post pictures of the empty lobbies and stuff. Like something awful had a running thread about Garfield Eats while this was happening.
It seems like it'd be fun to have just set up an in-place camera to just count the number of people that go in and out, just to get a rough estimate on it. Yeah, I don't think that would. It'd be fun to watch. It'd be fun to watch a long timeline of the slow death and decline.
Yeah, I can just imagine the John Boy's animated graph of people zooming out, so it's going. Yeah. he doesn't handle the shutdown well. In May of 2020, they have to shut down as part of quarantine their physical location. So he announces a press release about it. It says here, unempathetic landlord locks our favorite cartoon-themed restaurant during COVID-19. A Canadian landlord destroys young entrepreneurship. Garfield Eats, the world's first Garfield-themed restaurant known for Garfield-shaped pizzas, big lasagna, and Garfuccino coffee in Toronto with a pop-up store at 995 Bloor Street West that has turned into a nightmare for the beloved cat and young founder Nathan Basri, who is also a social media influencer in entrepreneurship with over 150,000 followers and advocate against homelessness.
He's a kind, beautiful boy, and his mother thinks he's very handsome. And he can dunk a basketball.
Nicknames are for friends. And television is no friend of mine.
Jesus Christ.
It goes on. Garfield has entertained the world for 41 years, and a heartless landlord has showed no form of appreciation to the beloved cartoon. So I love this guy's whole personality is in licensing and brands. Be like, man, it's bullshit that people could just charge you for something like they made it.
It is crazy that where people use their religious affiliations and they become insane and if you're against me, then you're an enemy of Christ. And they have this Christian armor of you cannot attack me because then you are I am the vicar of Christ and you are attacking Christ. And he's doing that, but with Garfield, which is at least Garfield had a pretty successful comic strip. Jesus never did that. Nathan Basri, who's a social media influencer in entrepreneurship with over 115,000 followers and an advocate against homelessness. It's oh my God. It's crazy how, I've had people make fun of me for my self-advocacy, my branding, my talking about myself and the things that I'm making, right? But I am not anywhere near Nathan Basri. I don't talk about Winslow, Maine with nearly 17,000 followers. I don't. Jesus Christ, dude, this is a little much.
Very much is. And when that quote about him advocating against homelessness, what I think that's referring to is that he donated his unsold food inventory to a youth shelter, presumably for tax credits. So that's his homeless advocacy. This is sort of the personality equivalent of that photo, where we're used to seeing him in these very carefully scripted press events or social media posts. This is kind of him on the back foot, not getting what he wants and just kind of melting down about it. And I think it'll become much more common with him going forward.
Yeah. Everything that I would have to say here is something that I would have to ask you to remove from the episode later. So I'm just going to say no comment. Let's see what else he has to say. Land monster. Dude, don't make me sympathize with the landlord.
Yeah, that's exactly. How are you less sympathetic to the landlord? He talks about the land monster, and of course it's just he probably wasn't making money off of this business, but I'm not to defend the price of rent in Toronto, but
Jesus Christ, yeah, it is very much an Aliens versus Predator thing. Again, what a hideous mascot. How do furries feel about mascots?
I think it's kind of a separate thing. I think some people like them because some fursuiters like them just from the sense that it's part of the field, part of the craft. Some people do have an interest in mascots specifically, corporate characters or licensed characters. But a lot of times I think it's just kind of ambivalent, or it's just kind of they look like shit compared to the ones that people actually custom make, sort of. That is for me kind of my sort of thought process is man, it's funny some of the biggest companies on earth can't make a suit that looks as nice as something that I don't know, two gay dudes made in their basement.
There's money can only buy so much passion. You know what I mean? If you really want to look like a 7 foot tall, eagle faced, feather man, then you're really gonna fucking do every little pinion feather perfectly. You're gonna get the whole thing put together. But if you just need to make a bird, a bird man for the Orioles, you're just gonna make a bird man. It's not gonna be done with love.
Yeah, that is one of the things I do think sometimes. It doesn't happen very often, but I used to like furry fan art of the NFL mascots. Sometimes man, you're doing free art for the NFL.
Yeah.
I know that fan art is kind of a part of being an artist there, but I'm like, come on, the NFL can afford to pay you to draw this art if if your brand is being the person who draws fan art for that team or something.
Right. Yeah, there's some. I think Beetle Moses does some basketball themed stuff professionally with an agreement between himself and the team. And I'll let that one slide because Beetle Moses is great.
Oh yeah, they're very funny. And this whole discussion was kind of prompted by a picture of Nathan passionately hugging the Garfield suit from he did like a 5-minute long dramatic farewell video when the like basically one of those like announcing a breakup almost, where Tim sort of talking like how awful the license holders were for taking Garfield away from him and saying goodbye and. Oh God, yeah, and then I don't know where else to put it, but here's a clip from his Instagram of him making out with his Garfield plush. He's very weird about Garfield.
Yeah, again, this guy can't help but like it's weird how like the least sexual person on the planet gives me the most intense. Well, I guess it's legally actionable for me to say that, but this seems really creepy. I will say that instead of what I wanted to say. I don't like him kissing this the anthropomorphized Garfield thing.
Me neither. And I guess another thing about this being closed is that he lost the license, but he's still the Garfield Eats social media accounts are still active and being run by him against their wishes. Presumably because they only have a few hundred followers. They probably figure it's not worth the Streisand effect of trying to like force him to shut down and getting eyes on it, as opposed to just letting this crazy guy use Garfield's name without. Illegally
right,
for like an audience of hundreds.
It's like 430 people.
Yeah, and like the sort of narrative that Nathan settles on is that that this evil Nickelodeon swooped in and ruined his perfectly good and successful business. And I think this is a great encapsulation of his sort of attitude. So his Instagram, where there's a picture of Garfield. I'll have you read the text here that he put.
When I'm mad at Nickelodeon, I take my lasagna fork emoji, to pretend Garfield is in jail. I feel better. Helps me cope, then I eat my lasagna.
So yeah, Garfield in fork jail.
So Nickelodeon owns the Garfield brand?
Yeah, they bought it in 2019, wow. And now Paramount. So that's a fun thing to keep in mind. This going forward. Actually, the Ellisons own this bizarre Muslim spin-off of Garfield.
Muslim Garfield. Oh man, yeah. That's definitely worth the several $100 million that they invested into it.
Yeah, Nirmal comes back from Abu Dhabi. He's like, "Hey, Garfield, I learned some stuff."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and so his business is shut down. He lost the license. He does some soul searching, and then on October 20th of that year, he releases a self-help book / autobiography, which is where that one picture at the beginning came from, where he talks about blowing your brains and waking the F-star of CK up. From his autobiography / self-help book, Arabiolosis, Masri's 10 Life-Changing Laws by Nathan Masri.
What is that a reference to?
He defines it on the back cover. It says, Arabiolosis, noun, the movement of an individual or collective individuals from a country that advocates freedom to a country that advocates suppression, originated in Saudi Arabia. So, yeah, all of his writing is kind of like that, just very word
The
salad-y.
most shocking revelation never been told before. That's a great sentence. The most shocking revelation never been told before.
Won't be fooled again.
Okay. The destiny is all-knowing, all-mysterious, putting Nathan's will to succeed and survive as a thinking species rather than a feeling species into test. That doesn't make any sense. Homo sapiens from thinking species into feeling species. The author distilled the essence of self-introspection and culture clash so explicitly about the kingdom as no other book in history. Wow. These are like, he's really losing his mind.
And that's in the picture of it right next to it. He describes himself as a chief enter-gauge officer. So he's doing all this biblical like ranting and raving while also being like enter-gagement Garfield.
Nathan Masri has become like a prisoner for injustice, like a soldier fighting for his life, and like a survivor thriving out of the kingdom for his freedom. All Nathan wanted was to feel alive. Nathan, a young Arab-Canadian man, is leaving Laval in the French province of Quebec with his family to settle in a soon-to-be-discovered, tyrannical kingdom of Arabia in the middle of the desert, sinking his soul in monotony and unspoken epidemic, and defeated by suppression for over 12 years of his life, lingering with broken dreams, scoliosis, sexual identity crisis, bipolar disease, and the struggle to claim true, elusive love. What are you talking about?
Man.
Scoliosis was capitalized in this, for the record. And unspoken, like, I don't need to pick this all apart because, like, the listener knows what's going on, but, like, what is this about? That's bizarre. That's the back of his book for arabiolosis. Did it come out?
Yeah. He self-published it. It's like an ebook. There's also from
oh god, dude, I kind of have to buy it.
Author House. Yeah, I think it's on Amazon. Yeah. Is there any sort of thoughts you wanted to do before we wrap up this first half?
Buddy, I don't fucking know, man. This is like, I knew that going into this it would be like a weird story. I had no fucking idea that it would be this. Like, this is such a jarring end because it's the syntax is so startlingly bad. This is bizarre.
Yeah, it is one of those things where it genuinely feels like maybe, like, especially with his age, it would line up with some mental illnesses or disorders. Sort of, that's when they emerge. But also, like, could it just be like wealth and like being an adult over time? Maybe gets into, like, he seems to be someone who has some substance issues. Just like, yeah, like, it is watching this person degrade on a stage in real time is
hashtag fight suppression. Oh boy, fuck, man. Yeah, I don't know. We're just gonna have to, like, keep chugging along because I don't know what the fuck we're gonna do with the rest of this. This is crazy. Yeah.
So he's had his bad breakup with Garfield. He's done some soul searching. He's written his autobiography. So what do you think his business plan is going to be now to try and, like, reemerge on the scene?
This is before AI was a huge thing. I want to say that he's probably trying to he's going to get mystical and sell, like, brain pills, and he's going to keep going with his role as the former youngest Garfield licensee, and it's going to be kind of become his version of the God has entered my body like a body my same size, like me walking into you or you walking into me. Like, it's going to be the thing that he talks about literally every single day in every single conversation.
Those are both correct, but yes, but specifically in this immediate aftermath, he follows up Garfield Eats with Scooby-Doo Eats. He's going to make he's like, well, one cartoon didn't work out. I'm going to try a different cartoon that I can afford to license. Yeah, and he's even wearing a purple vest. He's upgraded his wardrobe. So that's where we're going to come back. He's going to try it again with Scooby-Doo Eats coming in March of 2021.
And he's got his arms up like, I don't know. I guess I'm doing Scooby-Doo now. And it's more or less the same logo. Yeah. All of this is bad, and I don't like him at all. Do you have any recs that we can go over after the plugs?
I guess for this part, I don't. We say Garfield's 9 Lives. That's the Halloween special from the 80s. That, like, everyone's like, no, it's the one actually good Garfield thing. It has, like,
all right. Well, if you want more of us, you can find us at IFTIPod on Twitter, IFTIPod@gmail.com. If you have any suggestions, we would love to hear from you. Drop us a review. We appreciate it. We also have a Patreon. We just recorded some fresh stuff for that. It's $1 a month. All of that money goes to Jay and producer Steve. If you want to support the pod even more, I do have the first bit of merch for the pod on my website, which is a bumper sticker that says Enemy of the Pod. You can also see everything else that I do on winslowdomain.com. Also, hold on. I'm sorry. I know I'm doing the plugs, but did you notice that it says Words First Virtual Product Launch of Scooby-Doo Inc.? It doesn't say World's First. No, it says Words First.
Words First.
On Jesus Christ, dude. He didn't even check that. That's crazy. Fuck, man.
So good.
Oh my God. I see so many bad ads. There's a billboard I drove by yesterday that just has a picture of the United States, and it just says, America's #1 HIV provider. Dog, that's not a good thing to be. HIV medication provider. And there's another one that I drove by that says, world-class cancer, care without the commute. So the first line is world-class cancer, a bad thing. Care without, a bad thing. The commute, a bad thing. Who the fuck is letting these... oh my God. Like, I think so much about how I do my branding and ads that, like, it's crazy when I see a multi-million-dollar company that's, like, got ugly food in there. Like, it's crazy. Anyways, yeah. I'm Winslow Domain on Twitter. You can see all my sad bullshit there. I am Calculations on Instagram, and winslowdomain.com has everything else. If you want to know more about the game that I'm making, the United States Department of Gang Stalking, please check out the Discord. We're having playtests as often as I can, and we'll be doing a lot of fun things there. But yeah, that's what I have for us. And finally, if you want one rec, I know I've already given these guys a rec, but their album is officially out now. It is Takak Takak. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's Takkak, Takkak. Their new album, Abu, is out now. They are a Vilnius-based Indonesian composer and instrument builder, Johannes Moang Santoso Prabadi, and a Berlin-based Japanese producer, Shigeru Ishihara, also known as Scotch Rolex. Really, really interesting record that's like traditional something, I don't know, meets electronic other stuff. I don't know enough about music to tell you that it's what it is, but I can tell you that it is good. Give it a listen. It's called Abu by Takak Takak. That's my rec for now. And join us next week with the continued downfall of Nathan Masri. I'm From the Internet is created by Jaybrandstetter and Winslow Domain. Edited by Steve Brown. Music by Steve Isbrook.